Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia.
What's up, guys?
The reason why Christian is laughing like a little girl is because we just got through the first segment of the show recording without actually recording anything.
Did a hard 30 minutes.
Yeah, there was some gold in there too. Christian was using a bunch of racial slurs. It was great.
I'll make sure and repeat it.
Welcome to the podcast. We hope you are enjoying. The reason why we are willing to do the same intro twice is because we know you guys enjoy it. So show us that you're enjoying it by liking and subscribing, clicking the little bell icon on the YouTubes. We do appreciate that. Also, if you want to become a patron of the show, check out our patreon.com/nerdswithfriends down here at the bottom of the screen. For a couple dollars a month, you can help support us and throw some money into the old donation box.
Maybe get an intern to remind us to hit the record button.
That's what we really need. So we need producer Brian back to make sure everything's working.
That's a fair point.
This would be so much easier if we had that.
That's a fair point. I don't think we've never.
We could do like 3 shows a week if we had someone to do all the background work.
You know, that's fair. I don't think we ever not recorded when we had Brian. Say what you will about Brian.
Say what you will about Brian.
You made sure we recorded shit.
Luckily, I think this is only the second time that's ever happened. I'm pretty sure, right?
I think so.
One time it was with a guest, though. That was embarrassing.
He was so
so
awesome.
nice. Who was that? Was B. Dave Walters or?
Yeah, it was Mr. Walters. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Walters.
Fuck, I'm hot, dude.
Well, let's get this out of the way again so I can be mad at you all over again. Let's do some nerdy confessions. Oh, before we do that, I should say we are going to be talking about video game adaptations, turning video games into movies and TV shows in kind of lieu of the new Halo show, which is not that great. And this new Sonic movie, which I haven't seen yet, but the first one was pretty good.
I enjoyed it. We'll get into it.
And we'll get into it. It seems to be kind of difficult to make a good video game movie or TV show. So we'll be talking a little bit about that after the break. But let's do those nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds, Christian.
You know what?
Lay it on me, Christian.
a new point that Cody hasn't heard at all.
Okay.
No. You know what it is? You know why Cody didn't record? I'll tell you why. Because I was talking about Temple of Doom.
Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom.
And I made some...
The worst Indiana Jones.
I made some solid points.
Yeah.
I actually convinced him that it was a great movie. And he's like, I can't have that shit on the internet.
Yeah,
and he just deleted it.
Deleted it.
So, Nerdy Confessions, I rewatched it. And because... I guess I'll cut it a little bit shorter. But I've noticed that people have disliked it so much. And I was like, maybe I was wrong. And I rewatched it, and no, I'm not wrong. Shit was fucking awesome. I love Short Round. I can understand why people were annoyed with the blonde lady slightly, but I still think it was
she's
funny.
The worst. Oh, man. Can you imagine like a modern day, like a 2022 feminist woke lady watching that movie and just being like, what the fuck? They would cancel Steven Spielberg.
Dude, they're stupid, man. Why can't there be silly women? Like, I don't understand.
Oh, there are. There are.
I don't understand. Like, if you took that role away from her, that's what's really fucked up. She didn't get that role.
They should have let a man do that role. It would have been better.
They're like, wait, we can pay her how much?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that shit. Let's save some money.
75 cents to the dollar? Oh, my goodness. What a deal. Well, we can't afford not to have her.
Yeah. Plus, she didn't know
What
math.
about recasting Indiana Jones?
But no, I loved it. I love Short Round. I loved all of it. And I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that I said. Okay, so the parts where I would have no arguments, and I'm like, okay, granted, that was foul, was the Indian food.
Yeah.
So that stuff was pretty bad. Not gonna lie, I still laughed at it as an adult when I watched it yesterday, but it was because of how ridiculous silly it was.
Eating all the monkey brains.
Snake surprise.
Snake surprise. What's the
What?
surprise? There's fucking snakes in
Just
it.
baby snakes.
The baby snakes.
I don't even think they were snakes. I think they were eels, but
Maybe,
whatever.
Yeah. Those are just water snakes.
Water snakes. It's fine.
Isn't it crazy that water snakes are different than eels? Like those are two different things, but they look they're similar.
I think one is slimy.
Well, eels can actually breathe underwater. Water snakes, I think, actually just hold their breath.
I don't know.
They don't have gills.
I don't like snakes.
They're just snakes.
I'm not afraid of snakes. Just not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like, "Hey, you want this snake as a pet?" I'd be like, "No, thanks.
Nah.
I'm good."
I mean, what's his name? Oh, Snakebert? Yeah, I'll take him.
But yeah, I still fucking love it.
I'm a snake.
Please rewatch it.
Remember that?
No.
That guy, the
I don't
YouTube
know
video?
what you're doing.
I'm a snake. Slickery snake. Okay.
That one passed me. I don't know, bro.
I'm going to have to send that to you. It's great. It's entirely too long. I rewatched it the other day. I'm like, wow, this went on a lot longer than I thought it would.
People had longer attention span.
Yeah, YouTube back in the day was the wild, wild west. Just put anything on there.
But yes, now I can't remember all the amazing points I made. Now we have no evidence, but it's a great movie. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie. Don't watch it. The main thing I have with it is it doesn't feel like the same tone. I think when it comes down to it, the tone of that movie compared to Raiders of the Lost Ark and then later on Last Crusade is so different. Like those movies took themselves very seriously, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, there's humorous moments in it, right? You know, there's the thing where he hates snakes and he goes down and what is there? Fucking snakes, you know? Or his son calling him Junior the whole time and stuff. And it's like, yes, there's moments of laughter and fun jokes and stuff. But at the end of the day, he's fighting Nazis. He's like really like serious. In this one, it was like,
you can't take Indian people seriously?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying
Indian people aren't a real threat. He was fighting real white threats over here in this movie.
Dude, Nazis are definitely a bigger threat than Indian people. I'm sorry. That's not a controversial statement.
How many Nazis have you seen tear a heart out of a dude like while alive and the dude still
You
live?
really want to know, Christian?
That's fair. I didn't
More than none.
Never mind.
NASCAR races get crazy. No, yeah, it seems goofy. It seems like a Three Stooges movie where it's just like slapsticky and like goofball kind of thing. And I'm just like, ugh, just doesn't fit in the world for me. Also, the worst use of Dan Aykroyd in a movie ever.
Yeah, he was like 10, 15 seconds.
I don't think you even see his face, right?
You do. He's wearing glasses and he's got his clipboard. But
oh, yeah.
In a terrible British accent.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why have Dan Aykroyd if you're going to do that? My nerdy confession, it's a bit of a sporty confession because I know you're not big into sports, Christian, but I want to say it.
I get to hear this again.
Yeah. I've been trying to do something a little active every weekend to try to get a little exercise. So along with disc golf, which is 100% a real sport. But I will say this about disc golf. Don't watch disc golf YouTubers because those guys are a bunch of tards. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
They're like... Because disc golf is just frisbeeing, but with a specific goal, rather than just throwing it back and forth. It's like, no, you're trying to throw the frisbee into this bucket, essentially. And those guys who have made a living at it played so much frisbee that they could actually make money at it. Those people aren't smart people. You know what I mean? They're just super stoner dudes, but they can be a little entertaining.
No, I feel like that's more like hacky sack.
Oh yeah, it's the same vibe. You know,
vibe? Okay.
Like a professional hacky sacker. Yeah, you're not far off to a professional disc golfer. But along with disc golf, I've also been getting into regular golf. I took lessons back in college a long time ago, and then because I was poor, didn't play for several years, a decade in fact, I think, because golf is definitely a rich man's sport. And while I'm not rich, I definitely have a little thrown around money, you know, where I can spend
adult money.
Little adult money where I can spend $60 on a round of golf with my buddies. So because I've been getting into regular golf, I am kind of excited to watch the Masters this year, where Tiger Woods is supposedly making his comeback after his crazy car accident, where he probably did a bunch of drugs and drove like 90 miles an hour into a ditch.
You know what golf needs? Some slap action to get some more audiences to watch.
Dude, if there's one golfer I think who could really like hold your attention, you should look up some YouTube videos of John Daly.
John Daly.
Dude, that guy is a fucking beast. I'm going to Google a picture of him just so you can see him. Because this guy is basically my hero. And he's just like,
that is not what I thought was going to come up, but all right.
Look at this guy.
It's Donald Trump.
Look at this dude. He likes smoking cigarettes, crushing beers. Here's a guy spraying him with beers on his face.
You know what this strikes me of? Some dude saw Happy
look
Gilmore.
At this fucking mullet.
Someone saw Happy Gilmore and was like, "That's a great idea," and just decided to do it.
Totally. Like, and he's from I think he's from like Oklahoma or some shit.
So
like
on
that.
our first recording attempt, you said that Tiger Woods is getting in golf shape.
Yeah.
That is not what I thought golf shape is.
Yeah, but this look at this guy. What a G. Yeah, but he fucking rips it. It's definitely like it's a lot about technique, but like out of shape guys can definitely rip the ball. But he would probably be even better if he lost like 80 pounds.
And the mullet?
No, the mullet stays, Christian. Can't get rid of it. Also, he wears like funky colored pants all the time. That's actually not him, I don't think. Look at these pants.
You know what? What's the guy from Eastbound and Down?
Oh, yeah. Danny McBride.
They should make a movie of this guy
Dude,
and Danny McBride play him.
That's a good ass idea. I'd watch the shit out of that. Because Danny McBride basically is John Daly. Also, my friend David and I watched, or we were going on our way to disc golf, in fact. We found out that he has a country album out. And you know what, Christian?
Okay, there's a picture here where he's being interviewed by a reporter.
Yeah.
And I'm scared for her right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was probably fearing for her life for sure.
Like the amount of inappropriate shit he probably said to her.
Hell yeah. He's the best, man. And he has a country album, and a couple of those tracks fucking slap. Not going to lie. And I don't even like country music. But yeah, he's awesome. American flag pants. Look at that. The peak of athletic ability. I love it.
Get this guy in a room with the Tiger King. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I am excited to watch the Masters, which the Masters is famous for. Like the winner gets like the green jacket put on. It's kind of what Happy Gilmore was doing, where he was like, "That's my jacket. That jacket belongs to Mr. Gilmore." So that's kind of making light of the Masters. So I'm excited to watch that. We'll see how much I actually watch because golf tournaments can be pretty slow going. Sometimes.
You think so?
Yeah. But, I want to watch Tiger. I don't know if John Daly is going to go or not. I think Tommy Fleetwood is, though. He's another one of my favorite guys. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick little break. Sorry, this front section was a little shorter than normal, but couldn't rant another half hour about Temple of Doom. But when we get back, we're going to be talking a little bit about why it's so difficult to turn video games into TV shows and movies. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so this actually, this idea for a show topic came to us from 30 and Nerdy Podcast. So check those guys out. Thank you for your suggestion. We were a little light on suggestions because like Moon Knight is kind of like taking on, it's like 2 episodes out. Halo's 2 episodes, and there's just not, and I haven't seen Morbius yet, so it's been a little bit of a slow week so far. But I think it's appropriate because just in the past month here, we've had Uncharted movie.
I haven't seen it. I actually wanted to.
I haven't seen it yet either. The reviews have been kind of mixed. We've had Sonic 2. Apparently Jim Carrey's last movie, according to Jim Carrey.
What?
Yeah, he says he's retiring.
Nah, he'll be back.
And then we've had the Halo show on Paramount Plus. Now Uncharted, I think right now it's sitting at like 57%, 47% Rotten Tomatoes. Not great, not certified fresh. Then we have Sonic, which I'm not actually sure what it's at right now, but the first one was pretty good. And then we have Halo, which is getting panned by the true Halo fans. Everyone else who's just kind of watching it just to watch it seems to have, fairly positive reviews on it. But I will tell you this, Christian, as a Halo fan, I am not very happy with that show.
Are you going to continue or are you done?
I'm going to watch it because I need content for this show, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Okay.
And I'm not paying for Paramount Plus. I'm stealing Nick Barber's account.
There you go.
You know, they're not getting my hard-earned dollars. But we wanted to talk a little bit about why it's been so hard to create a good adaptation of a video game. So, what are some of the video game movies, TV shows that have come to mind for you?
Well, I mean, the first one that came to my mind was Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
But I feel like that was a successful one. Now, granted, I was a kid when it came out. I enjoyed it. And I'm just going to take the standpoint that it did great. And the reason why I think it did great was that it didn't steer far away from the fucking material.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? A bunch of guys fighting on a different plane of existence to save planet Earth, or else it's going to get destroyed. Just don't, like, it's right there. Just don't fucking veer far from it. And I think maybe, and again, like, we talked about the newest one. It did okay, but it steered a little bit too far off from the premise of the game.
Yeah.
And it didn't bring the characters that we wanted to see. And I won't get too much into it, but it didn't have any weight to it. Like, we kind of got from that movie, oh, if you die, they'll just come back. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you'll see them in part 2. So I see you pulling up information. Did it do all right?
Yeah, so the original one came out in 1995, was number one at the box office for the weekend with 23 million, nearly 8 times the opening amount of the other new releases that weekend.
There you go.
It got a total worldwide of 124 million, became the highest grossing adaptation of a video game before being surpassed by Pokemon, the first movie in 1998.
There you go. I was right.
Yeah, so that one, fairly successful.
Also,
and I will say...
amazing soundtrack.
Oh, of course. Like, people forget that the Mortal Kombat song came from that movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the video game. And, like, you know, when you hear the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do Mortal Kombat, you know, that one.
Yeah.
You know, that came directly from that movie. But then, you know, I think I could be wrong on the dates of these, but I'm pretty sure that after that, that's when we got, like, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I'm not too sure.
And the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
Which, you know, like, the Street Fighter movie will always hold, like, a special place in my heart because, you know, Raul Julia's last film was, before he died, was him playing freaking M. Bison.
Also,
that was 1994. It was actually before.
Also,
Ming-Na Wen also played Chun-Li. That was pretty cool.
People, I'm actually glad you mentioned, like, people forget, like, yes, it wasn't a great movie, but my boy Raul did fucking killed it as M. Bison.
Yeah.
Didn't look anything like him, but it still was great. And he also delivered a great line when he's talking to Chun-Li. He's like, you know, the day I rolled into your village and destroyed it was the day that M. Bison came in, or it was a great day for you. He's like, for me, it was just another Tuesday. I was like, God damn, that was a dope ass fucking line.
Yeah. And then there was the Super Mario Brothers movie, which was 1993, which apparently I forget the main dude's name, the guy who played Mario.
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins, yeah. Apparently he was fucking hammered the whole time because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently the script for the movie changed daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Like, they didn't know. They didn't even bother reading the script anymore because they're like, well, we don't know what the fuck we're going to get.
Right.
But apparently, like, I think it was John Leguizamo, like, broke his leg or his arm because they both just got hammered and, like, something went wrong while filming.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and then there's, you know, flash forward, you know, into more modern adaptations. We have the Resident Evil movie.
Which a lot of them did great. The first
one, I would say, was a good movie overall.
Yep.
Wasn't really Resident Evil, though.
No, it wasn't. But that's one of those rare instances that, like, it didn't stick to the source material, but it still ended up being...
It kind of turned into its own thing.
Yeah.
But also, one thing to think about that as well is Resident Evil games didn't even stick with Resident Evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Each
Village and Resident Evil... What was the one before that? Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village, or maybe I'm getting those. Maybe it was 7 and then Village.
I know.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
the latest 2 ones.
With the Lady Vampire one, and then the one before that was I didn't enjoy it too much.
The Hillbillies one or whatever.
Yeah,
and then there was also even Resident Evil 5. They were kind of like they were in Africa or something, and they had the face that opened up and stuff.
I actually really enjoyed that game.
I enjoyed that game too, but I was like, it should be in Raccoon City in the dark with zombies, regular zombies, but. Even the games themselves kind of evolved.
But let's be honest. If they were going to be testing medicine that they weren't too sure, they were probably going to do it in Africa.
Probably.
Let's be honest.
Unfortunately, they probably already are, Christian.
Right.
Unfortunately. But, so the Resident Evil movies kind of took on their own thing. It became something different. It became this big action movie, which kind of had zombies in it. And then we have things like Monster Hunter, also with Mila Jovovich, which was not very good. Did you ever watch that one? It was bad. It was real bad. And then Sonic the Hedgehog, which is probably one of the more successful versions of a video game turned live action movie, was almost a big disaster. When the first character designs were released, everyone's like, dude, what the fuck is this?
That's one of those times where like the internet saved a movie, because it would have been really fucking bad. Yeah. And think about it, like when we watched it with the reskinned Sonic, a lot of people enjoyed it and they're like, all right, this is Sonic, and nothing changed other than the image. And it goes to show you how one fucking thing can ruin an entire movie. Right.
Absolutely. And I think a big part of it was...
Hence Halo taking the mask off.
Yeah.
One fucking thing.
One fucking thing. There are multiple things in the Halo, but that's a big one. But yeah, it's I think it stems from a problem where the people who are creating these movies or TV shows or streaming whatevers, they're approaching it from the standpoint where they have this IP, right? This intellectual property. They've paid a bunch of money to Sega for Sonic or Microsoft for Halo. And they want to create something that will give them a return on that investment, right? It's the same reason why people buy stocks, right? They want to sell it for more than what they bought it for. And that's their main goal. Their main goal is never to make the most true to the source material thing that they could. You know what I mean? I think, and that's kind of where the problem lies. If we look at something like Halo, right? And of course, we're just going off the first two episodes. If they turn it around somehow in the last 4, I will 100% say so on the podcast. But to me, Halo has always been the story of Master Chief and his relationship with Cortana, who's kind of teaches him how to be human, which is kind of an ironic pairing, right? You have an artificial intelligence teaching the human man how to be a person again, essentially, right?
If you think about it, it's a complex idea that works, like it's right. It's a good idea.
It's also a very complex, untraditional love story that a lot of people, it's a Halo game, so it's not super deep, but you get the sense that, especially when, towards the end of like Halo 3 or 4 or whatever, I forget which one it was, where Cortana essentially is like deteriorating, her like code is getting deleted or whatever. You can tell that Chief will do anything to save her because like he loves her in his own way, right? He doesn't have like feelings necessarily, but she has awoken the human side of him, and he wants to make sure that he saves her, right? And it's a complex love story because like if he's actually in love with her, what's he gonna do? She's a fucking computer program, you know what I mean? And who knows if he can even get a boner anymore with his Spartan genetic engineering. We don't know.
He doesn't have one. He doesn't have a dick. They took it out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get in the way when he runs.
It's just distraction. Yeah. Also removed his testicles because no weak points.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of room in the old Mjolnir armor.
See, like, Like, and I don't know, I'm guessing, but I feel like the problem with that comes from making a video game movie is you don't necessarily want to get the fans to make it because they're not professional, like, filmmakers.
Sure.
And when you do get professional filmmakers who know nothing about the game, it's like, all right, well, they're steering so far away from the source material that you're not going to make the actual people who are going to consume it happy. So,
right.
like, I mean, if you gave it to video game people who love video games, they're probably, particularly Halo fans, like, what are they going to do? Just, like, have a bunch of, like, sections where he's, like, teabagging someone or some shit.
That would be the best.
Yeah, see...
Like, if he's just like, fuck you, Covenant, and he just fucking teabags him.
Yeah, like...
I'd be like, oh, that's funny.
I mean, sure.
It wouldn't fit in the show.
It wouldn't fit in the show, but, like, you need a happy medium. I was like, all right, professionals who've never played the game, non-professionals who love the game. All right, you guys get together and, like, make it fucking happen.
I think you're right. I think that a big part of it is that the people who would do it the most justice don't know how to make good movies, or don't know how to make movies in general, and they don't know what goes into budgeting a movie, making sure that they have enough money to do it justice and stuff. So, and then the people who are making it, unless they're already fans, they're not going to go out of their way to make it as lore accurate as possible.
Right.
Which in a show like Halo, right? They're using the Halo name and the Halo character names. You got Master Chief, you got Halsey, you got Cortana, you have the Covenant, and all the names are there, but who those names belong to aren't there. The characters have changed so much from the original. I think that's what's really rubbing fans the wrong way. And in a bunch of interviews and stuff, the showrunners have said that they're not looking at the game. They're not following the books or whatever. They wanted to create something new and fresh.
So make something new and fresh.
So make something new and fresh. Make something that's not Halo. Make space opera, whatever. But no, they want the eyeballs and the attention that having the name Halo brings along with it. And I think that's really where they start getting themselves into trouble.
See, but then now, like, I feel like something that was nothing like the game, like, it could work. It could possibly work, but it's like, I don't want to say a miracle, but there needs to be a lot of happy accidents that happen that work. Like, Detective Pikachu. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like the game whatsoever at all. It was something original, but it worked. Like, it fucking worked. Yeah,
and I think, that's something where, if you're going to make a live-action Pokemon movie, it has to be a little, you have to, like, think about it from a different way, right? Like, just them training Pokemon and you have Ash Ketchum and stuff, it's kind of a hard sell, especially, for children. Because the animated shows, like we just said, Pokemon the movie was the #1 video game movie of all time for a while, and it was just, all it was an anime movie.
Yeah.
Right? So to do a live action one, you got to bring something new to the table. And I think they crushed it with that one. And yes, having it be the Detective Pikachu, where, like, Pikachu's actually a talking detective, they had to use their imagination to really pull it off in that medium. But I think it worked because you could tell that the people making it understood Pokemon and what people loved about Pokemon.
I think actually that's one of those examples where, like, we're actual true fans who happen to be filmmakers,
right?
And then they knew what would work and what wouldn't work, and it did.
Yeah, I think that's what caused the real success to it. You know what I mean? I think they understood Pokemon. They didn't make up different new Pokemon. You know what I mean? They didn't change the world of Pokemon. It was still these monsters that are stored inside these balls. And, you have Mewtwo being a genetically engineered, super Pokemon and stuff. They understood the concept of it, which would be fine for Halo too. If this was a different story of Master Chief meeting some new, alien threat or whatever, that's fine as long as you get the Master Chief right.
Right.
And the world of Halo. You can make it about anything you want, any mission or whatever, but you have to get the characters right and the overall, like, ethos of it.
And then there's examples where, like, on paper, something should work, and you're like, all right, just seeing it, like now, hindsight's 2020, we know what had happened, but like, for example, Doom with The Rock and Carl Urban.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what I just said, like, if you've never seen the movie, like, wait, you got The Rock and Carl Urban in like a movie, it's gonna fucking be gold.
Right.
Like, that's it, money in the bank. But, it was obviously not, like we know now, it sucked, but like,
yeah.
I mean, it had some stuff. I'm not gonna lie, actually, when
the little first person,
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that too.
That was cool. But
I actually hated it in Halo though. Like they did it way too much.
In the second episode, I'm guessing.
First episode.
Oh, I don't remember
when
that.
he jumps in, you see through his visor when he's fighting the Covenant and stuff. You see the little radar thing. You see his shield thing at the top.
I think I mentally blocked that.
Yeah. Yeah, they put. I like it a little bit, and I like how they have little hints in there, so they do know a little bit about the game because they have the sound when his shield's recharging, like the doo 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 doo, like when it's charged back up, and they have the thing where it has his heads up display. Like they've watched some of it, and the weapons look good, like the Gatling gun, his auto rifle, the battle rifle. They all look like ultra cosplay quality. You know what I mean? But then you have Master Chief take his helmet off in the first episode, which is, I don't know how that got past so many.
You know what it is? Is that all these players have been blue-balled for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Wondering what his face like. They're like, look, let's just give him the money shot right away.
No one wondered. No one wondered. We liked him as the stoic super soldier,
Like, nah, these people need to know. Like, I know what these people want. They want to see that face.
You're right, Christian. There would never be a successful TV show where a guy didn't show his face for the entire show.
No, not at all. No, with no green baby.
No green baby. Yeah.
No fucking.
No, there's never a show set in space where the guy just wears his helmet all the time. There's no way that would be successful.
That's a terrible fucking show.
Yeah.
Who's going to watch that?
I don't know. That wouldn't be the way, that's for sure.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah, the reason why in The Mandalorian, he only takes his helmet off twice that we see, right?
Right.
We see it once when he's super injured at the end of season 1,
and he thinks he's going to die.
He thinks he's going to die. And then on season 2 to save Grogu, right?
Because there was no other way.
There's literally no other way.
It'd be weird if he went in with his helmet.
So we as viewers know that it's a big deal for him to take his helmet off.
Yeah.
So when it happens, we're like, oh shit. This is important to him. Like it's built into the ethos of that show, into the mythology of the Mandalorian. In Halo, he literally takes it off for some girl he's never met before because he feels bad that like she was like, you should question the UNSC, and he's like, you're right. If you want to shoot me, you're gonna have to shoot me in the face. I'm like, why would you do that?
If anything, if they were going to have him remove the helmet, it could have been like The Mandalorian where he's like super injured. You think he's going to die. And it could be on the last episode. And all you have to do is
Darth Vader.
Yeah. Or not even, all you have to do is just show it from the back. A back shot of him taking his helmet off. You see the back of his head. Next season, whatever, a year or two when it comes out, don't show his face, helmet back on.
Yeah, but they put the helmet back on.
Yeah, and there you go. Like,
exactly. And it's like, that would be such a little thing. And no one who played Halo wants Master Chief to take his helmet off. You know what I mean? Also, when the casting's announced, we know what he looks like. We know what Pablo Schreiber?
Yeah.
We know what he looks like, right? Porn stash from Orange is the New Black. We don't need to see him as Master Chief. Like, he has the helmet on. He does the voice and the action. Like, that's what we want from him. That's his character. So it's very frustrating to see kind of the road they're going down with this one. What do you think? Why do you think video games as a medium is so hard to adapt into?
Well, like I said, I think one is like it's getting great filmmakers who just so happen to be video game players. But I mean, on the other hand, there's great examples. I mean, I haven't seen them, but I just know they're terrible. When you get a director like Uwe Boll to make like these video game movies.
Which one was that?
Oh my God, he's made. Well, let's see. He's made Alone in the Dark.
Okay.
Has anyone seen it? No. Why? Because it was terrible. Blood Rain. Have you seen it?
Oh, I've heard of Blood Rain. Yeah.
There you go. It's terrible.
Yeah.
House of the Dead.
Oh, he did the Far Cry movies.
The Far Cry movie. Yeah, and it's like it's just one of these dudes who continuously like makes shit movies that tank, but he keeps getting them. I don't know. Somebody made a deal with the devil,
right?
And he's fucking like getting these.
I think one of the problems may come from how video games tell their story, where, say a video game like Halo takes, 20 hours to beat the game, right? You have 20 hours to really tell the story of Master Chief and make the player care about him, right? I think that even though like most of that time you're shooting, elites and, doing missile launchers and all that kind of shit. At the end of the day, you're getting little pieces of dialogue, you're getting cutscenes, you're going through the world as Master Chief. So you're starting to get a better idea of who he is as a character. And when you're trying to concentrate that down into what can make a 6-hour TV show, it can be a little bit difficult if you don't know what you're doing. And I think what, specifically for Halo, I think that's kind of what they're, I think they had the cliff notes of Halo read to them by an intern or told by their, 25-year-old son. You're like, okay, so there's this guy, Master Chief. He's super badass. He's got a sick helmet with the green armor and the yellow visor, and he's like a total badass. He's a Spartan. Spartans are like these super soldier guys who just like they're like brainwashed from little kids to be like the ultimate weapons. And he comes in and he's just fucking up the Covenant. He's just like in there. He's like blasting. He's like gah, 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 gah. And then he finds out that like there's this thing called the Halo, right? The Halo is this weapon. And like that's bad. He doesn't want that because the Halo weapon could like destroy the whole universe. And so he's got to stop it with his computer friend Cortana. And they're like, cool. I'll take that back to the writer's room and see what we can do with that. And so then they make this, they try to cobble together this story using like the character names that they've gathered without actually putting in the work and playing through the games and understanding the motivations of those characters.
I mean, like what else? I mean, I think that's it really. They don't know what they're fucking doing. They're not getting the right fucking people to do it.
So what hope do you think we have of video game movies, TV shows in the future? Like what would you think would be an easy to adapt one into the next, call it HBO series or, Apple Plus show?
Like what would I want to see or what I think would work?
What do you think would work? Like, and, give us like some story point teasers. We know Last of Us is coming.
Yep.
I think that one could work.
Well, if they just take this from the source material,
if they just copy the first game.
Yeah, it'll work.
And then end it.
Because the country will be divided from the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
I think if they get, I think you need directors like James Gunn to get and do maybe small games that were cult, like, followings. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but Werewolves Within was, I didn't even know, I just saw the movie. I didn't know it was a video game, but apparently it's a video game. And it was entertaining. It stars the girl from the AT&T commercials. Is this the AT&T?
Oh, really?
Or Verizon. The hot girl from from one of the
it's
companies.
AT&T.
Yeah.
I forget what her name is in the AT&T show.
It was goofy, it was funny, and it was hilarious.
Nice.
And small budget, which can work, if you're creative with the dollars. But I think if you take that approach, and like I said, take someone like James Gunn who can take like a silly movie like Suicide Squad. Like, let's be honest, how many people knew about Suicide Squad before it happened?
Right.
And granted, I'm not talking about the first one, I'm talking about the second one. No one knew the first team, but he made the second one fucking amazing.
Right.
Even Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess, better example. Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
not too many people knew about them, but he took this team and he made it into a fucking amazing, franchise.
Right.
So, like, I think if you get directors like that and just give them the freedom to run with it, it'll fucking work.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I know another director except Taika Waititi who could take a fucking raccoon and like make it a talking raccoon and make it work.
Yeah, Taika Waititi can take a non-talking alien bug and make it work.
Yeah.
This is Meeks. He's got knives for hands.
Yeah, like there's few people who just have that, fucking touch of gold who can turn something goofy and make it work.
I think for me, one that I could definitely see being made is Mass Effect. And the reason why is at the core of Mass Effect. Now, Mass Effect is a big game. It's a role-playing game made by BioWare. So like all these little decisions you make change the outcome of the game. So you couldn't do a one-for-one adaptation of Mass Effect, but there is a overarching story where you have Commander Shepard on the Normandy, which is a spaceship. This is the name of a spaceship. And you have him fighting these things called what were they called? It's been a while since I played.
Baddies.
The bad ghost spaceships or whatever from the dark reaches of space. I'll remember them eventually, I'm sure. The Reapers, I think that's what they're called.
Nope, I think that's Serenity.
Yeah, but I think it was also in this. I could be wrong. But I think Sovereign was the name of like the head ones. So that sounds right. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so you have him fighting this alien threat that's coming in to save them. And you have his crew. You have Garrus. You have Ashley. You have Rex. And Joker's the captain of the ship, or the pilot, I should say. And Tali, I think, is the other one in the first game. Anyway, so you have his crew. So you have kind of an ensemble cast a little bit. But you have this goal, and you can kind of pick your favorite side quests and stories to add into it. And you're essentially, as you're making that TV show or that movie, what have you, you're making your playthrough of the game, essentially, right? So it's not going to be the same as my playthrough, Maybe I tried to bang Ashley instead of Liara was the other alien lady. Maybe the director wanted Liara to be the romantic interest, right? Like it'll be different than my playthrough, but because of the style of game it was, I can still sit back and appreciate it as long as at the core of it, it's Commander Shepard fighting against these alien robots with his crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a successful, you boil it down into what are the raw elements of this game, and that's what it is. And then you can build a story off from that, right? Pick and choose which side quests were the most important to you, and you can kind of go from there. You got any other ones, or maybe one that should never be made into a TV show?
Elden Ring, for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
One, there's too much fucking material. That where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Second,
also the story's just out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we don't want another Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Incident.
Also the main character would just die all the time.
Yeah.
Like shit. It might, Elden Ring or like Dark Souls or Bloodborne might be a fun, like if they did a TV show, but as a comedy, the fans might hate it. But if it was like Chris Pratt or like Ryan Reynolds playing the main character, and he just dies all the time and keeps getting reborn, he's like, God damn it. It was so hard. And then, eventually gets through and beats the
only way, yes, I agree that would, if it took the comedic route, yes, it would be funny. The only way I think it would work is if you did something, I don't remember the Tom Cruise movie where he's consistently dying and coming back.
Oh, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, if you did something on that approach,
right,
then it could work.
Yeah, and so in the lore of those games, like each game, they kind of have that built into the lore of the game where, they are dying and being reborn. That's kind of like what's happening narratively in those games. So like it could definitely be a movie like that where, the more and more he goes through it, the better and better he gets at being a warrior or whatever. So I think that could work, but I think you're right that the story elements, and I thought with Elden Ring, with George R.R. Martin writing it, I thought it was going to have like the most awesome, in-depth, crazy story ever, but it is so out there, it is very hard to follow. Like everyone worships fingers, and then like
the two fingers. Is it two fingers?
There's a subsect called the three fingers who don't agree with the two fingers. It's like oh no, I don't like you.
Isn't that the two in the pink, one in the stink?
The shocker?
Yeah, isn't that the one?
Yeah, maybe that's why they don't like each other. No one likes a shocker unannounced. I think that one would be a hard one to do, but What's another one that would be like that would never adapt very well to it? Like I think
Tetris.
I feel like it's just like two construction workers with cranes, maybe. Wasn't that kind of what it was supposed to be?
I have no idea, man. I don't know why my gut. Maybe it's the Mandela effect. I feel like was there a Tetris movie? Did someone make that shit?
No, but there was. Pac-Man showed up in a movie at one point. Yeah, I forget what movie that was.
I feel like you're right. There was a movie with Pac-Man.
It wasn't a Pac-Man movie though, but that's fucking stupid. I think you could easily make something like Tomb Raider, which we haven't really mentioned, but I think if you go back and watch the newest Tomb Raider with the chick from Deus Ex Machina.
That one got
Ex Machina.
That one got good ratings.
I thought that was pretty good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen it, but
it was kind of low budget compared to like the Angelina Jolie ones, but I thought it was a pretty good job of doing. What's her name? I think now this would be hard to do and make it look good. I think, but I think maybe our technology is good enough to do it. I think a God of War game would be fucking amazing.
It'd be great if it was done correctly, but
who should play Kratos?
Ooh.
I think what's his name? Drax.
Oh, maybe.
What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah. He might be a little old for it now,
yeah.
but goddamn, I would watch the shit out of that. You know? We didn't mention also the Assassin's Creed movie.
What about it? I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it was bad. Assassin's Creed games got really weird anyway, so...
I only played one, and it was the pirate one, and I didn't understand the story fucking at all.
The stories got weird, for sure. Brotherhood was the best Assassin's Creed game, I'd say. Trying to think of another good one.
I would say do not attempt a Final Fantasy again. Just play the games.
Like Final Fantasy VII?
Or just Final Fantasy at all. Like, I don't know. Unless it was anime and unless it was done in Japan, like, probably Americans shouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to do, like, Final Fantasy VII, which is largely regarded as the best Final Fantasy, right? That's
I would say so.
Pretty fair, right?
Although, to me, in my heart, it's a tie between Final Fantasy Tactics and 7, but that's to me.
And that's one of the weird things with Final Fantasy is that the games aren't necessarily connected.
No, at all.
Right?
What's connected? Summons and chocobos.
Yeah, and then like what's his face? Sid, isn't he in
almost all of them?
All the games or something?
If not all of them.
Or some version of him?
Yeah.
So, there's little things like that, but I think that if you're going to make a movie, you got to make it of 7. But the problem is that game is so long.
Yeah.
Like
you can't rush that story.
How do you cover all of that? You know what I mean? And like at the end of the day, some of that shit gets really weird. With Sephiroth's mom and all that stuff.
I mean, cross-dressing Cloud? What do you mean?
Yeah, it gets a little I mean, honestly, you can pull that off in a show. Like that's I think what was it? Shanghai Noon or something? Didn't they do that?
Maybe.
I thought that was pretty funny. Could be wrong. Or maybe it was Wild Wild West with
maybe it was both.
It could have been. Yeah, it could. Seems like something they would put in a Western comedy movie.
You talk about Will Smith, man. I'm not trying to get slapped.
Keep my movie's name out your fucking mouth. But yeah, I think you can do a video game movie or TV show if you take the time to understand what is the core of that game. Like, what is the most important foundations of that, right? So
Donkey Kong. That's what I want to see. I'm not talking about the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong. I want to see fucking Donkey Kong throwing barrels at Mario. I want to see that shit.
Ooh, crossover with the new Mario movie that's coming out.
There we go.
With Chris Pratt.
Give that shit to Taika Waititi. He'll make it work.
Now, what did you think of the Rampage movie?
Didn't watch it. Did not watch it.
It was not very good.
Actually, I liked the arcade game, so
yeah.
I want to watch it. I'm sure it's streaming now. I just don't want to pay for it.
Right. Yeah, it's games like that I don't think have enough story behind them to really make a movie. Those ones, to me, feel like the biggest cash grab of all.
Well, it's a video game that ripped off a movie, so it's a movie video game ripped off the movie, and now a movie about a video game that ripped off a movie. So
right. It's like okay, it's kind of like Godzilla, but
or King Kong.
King
I don't
Kong,
know.
but different. Yeah, I think you really have to pick like a modern day, a more modern game. It doesn't have to be like in the last like 5 years, but I think like Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that would actually make a good movie. It would be expensive as fuck. With all the CG robot dinosaurs.
I feel like that might fall into, and I haven't seen it, but Monster Hunter. I feel like it would have the same fucking problems.
It could. I didn't play enough of the Monster Hunter games to really know what the story was. I just know that as a movie was a bad movie. Because also like they get into the Monster Hunter world, and then they're like, it takes some time for them to get in there, and then they're figuring everything out, and then they're back in the regular world. It was stupid. But I think you could do like, because of how Horizon Zero Dawn is, you have a strong main character with Aloy, you have supporting cast of characters who are clearly defined, and you have like a clear goal at the end of it. And because it's a wide open thing, you can condense that story down quite a bit. Of her finding out more about the previous, the world before the apocalypse happened and everything, and then you can even have what's his name, Jonathan Reddick, play his own character, which would be fucking awesome. And I think you could easily make that into a blockbuster movie. You wouldn't even have to be a TV show, because this might be a slight on the actual game, but the characters aren't super deep. Like Aloy, like she doesn't have a lot going on. She grew up as an outcast. Now she's got to save the world. We don't need 10 episodes to learn more about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can squeeze that into a 2-hour movie for sure, but it would be expensive because of all the dinosaurs.
I was just thinking that I would love to see, but it would never work, and maybe I don't want to see it. Legend of Zelda would never fucking work.
That's another tough one, kind of like Final Fantasy, because there's similar parts in all the Zeldas. Like it's Link, he's trying to save Zelda, Ganondorf, or it tends to be there sometimes, or Ganon.
Sometimes he's a wizard, sometimes he's a warrior,
sometimes he's a monster.
Yeah. I was just thinking strictly about the outfit. I feel like, I don't know, maybe a very talented cosplayer can pull it off. But I feel like no one's going to be able to.
I think you could do the Breath of the Wild style one where it's kind of like a tunic, Yeah. It doesn't have the elf hat as much, It's just some dude with kind of the man bun pulled back and stuff.
Oh, alarm went off.
Cool. But yeah, I could totally see that happening. They could make a story, but it would be hard, I think.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, cool. Well, I think we better go
before someone
check that all out.
Gets arrested or we get shot.
But let us know down in the comments what you think of movie video games. Which games would make the best movies, and which ones should they never touch? Christian, as always, thanks for being my player 2.
Ready Player 2.
Ready Player 2. To all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you, and good night.